Most retirees think they've done the right thing. They saved aggressively, skipped the splurges, lived below their means, all so they could one day retire without worry. But what if I told you those sacrifices might be exactly what's holding you back? You see, I've worked with countless retirees who followed the rules. They hit their savings target, they checked every financial box, and yet they're more anxious now than they were 5 years ago. Why is that? Well, because they're facing a new problem that they never planned for. Tax traps, the drawdown dilemmas, the emotional weight of spending what they worked so hard to save. That's exactly why in today's video, we're going to uncover why saving too much can quietly sabotage your retirement and what to do instead. For those who don't know me, I'm Rob Gariano, a retirement advisor who spent the last 11 years helping hundreds of retirees turn their savings into real confidence. And in this video, I'm going to show you 3 things. First, why the financial rules you followed don't really work anymore. Second, what oversaving is actually costing you. And most importantly, how to avoid these traps without saving another dollar. Let's get into it. Here's the truth no one tells you. The real danger in retirement isn't running out of money, it's misusing the money you've already saved. Because what most retirees don't realize until it's too late is that the system we trusted was never designed for the retirement we actually want. We were taught to chase a number, $1 million, $1.5 million, whatever some article or advisor told us was the magic goal. But that advice was built for accumulation, not for distribution. The result? Retirees who spent 30 years doing everything right now find themselves penalized with taxes they didn't expect, confused about what they can safely spend, and terrified of making the wrong move. They're sitting on the nest egg they built, but they're afraid to crack it. And there's a deeper tragedy hiding underneath it all. We don't know how long we have. I've worked with people who saved into their 70s only to pass away months after retirement, never touching the life they spent decades preparing for. Every year you spend saving just in case is a year you're not living with purpose or peace. That's the real problem. We didn't just oversave, we underlived life. And now, instead of feeling free, many retirees feel trapped by the very thing they worked so hard to build. And what's even more frustrating, this isn't just bad luck. It's the result of 3 deeply flawed beliefs that quietly shape how most retirees plan for their future. These aren't fringe ideas. They're baked into every article, every rule of thumb, even most financial plans. But if you've ever wondered why you still feel uncertain, even after doing everything right, these beliefs are why. Let's break them down. The first belief keeping retirees stuck is this, that you need to hit a magic number, $1 million, $2 million, before you can retire. It's the most common question I get. Am I on track? And what they really mean is, have I hit the number? We're surrounded by this idea. Financial media constantly promotes round benchmarks. Advisors print them on progress charts. And we internalize the belief that if we just hit that number, everything else will fall into place. But here's the problem. That number means nothing without context. 2 couples with the exact same savings can have completely different retirements because their expenses, goals, tax exposure, and income streams are totally different. One might live simply with $4,000 in monthly needs. The other might need $7,000 and live in a high-tax state. Yet, both are told to aim for the same figure, as if their retirements are interchangeable. This belief feels safe because it gives people something to chase, but it's dangerously oversimplified. It ignores the real drivers of retirement success: income strategy, spending flexibility, and time. And the cost of this belief is huge. I've seen people delay retirement for years, chasing a number they didn't need, only to run into unexpected health issues, lose time with family, or pass away without ever using what they saved. Even worse, many hit the number, and they still don't feel safe. The magic number isn't just misleading. It's the reason so many people with enough money still feel like they're not ready. Now, before we move on, I want to quickly pause and offer something helpful. I know it can be tough to know where you stand based on your own unique circumstances. You might be wondering, does this apply to me? Am I at risk of oversaving or drawing down the wrong way? Unfortunately, we can't walk through everyone's situation in this video. but we've set up a completely complimentary retirement readiness review process for all viewers. All you have to do is answer a few simple questions like the ones we're covering today, and within 48 hours, I'll send you a personalized video walking through your exact situation. But fair warning, we can only offer this to the first 20 people who submit a request due to a high demand. Now, let's get back to the video. The second belief that quietly sabotages retirement is the idea that more is always better. We treat saving like a scoreboard. The higher the number, the more secure we think we are. And because this mindset is never challenged, many retirees feel proud, even superior, about oversaving. They believe the only risk is not saving enough, but that's not the full story. The truth is, saving too much without a plan creates a whole new set of risks. It pushes retirees into higher tax brackets just as they start withdrawing funds. It leads to required minimum distributions that inflate taxable income, whether they need the money or not. And it creates confusion about how to spend money responsibly, which leads to underspending. You may be asking, why does this happen? Well, because our financial system rewards accumulation. Advisors earn more on larger portfolios, headlines praise record savings rates, and no one ever stops to ask, do you need this much, or are you saving out of fear? And the emotional toll is enormous. I've seen retirees with 7-figure portfolios feel guilty about buying a new car. They spend so long focusing on growing their savings that they don't know how to use it. Even worse, oversaving often comes at the cost of living. They miss the trip, they skip the time with family, they wait, always thinking more money will make them feel safer. But in reality, they built a vault and threw away the key. More is only better if you know how to use it. And most retirees, unfortunately, don't. The third belief, and maybe the most damaging, is that you can only retire when the math says you're ready. It's the idea that your account balance decides your timeline. People will say, I'll retire when I hit $1.2 million, or I just need to get my portfolio to X. And what they're really saying is, I'm waiting for permission. But retirement isn't just a financial decision, it's a life decision. And the numbers don't know anything about your life. This belief comes from decades of financial conditioning. We're taught to measure retirement readiness with a calculator, plug in your numbers, hit enter, and it tells you when you could be free. But that formula can't see your health, it can't see your energy or your dreams slowly fading. Most people never feel ready because the goalpost keeps moving. The market dips, inflation ticks up, a new article says you now need more. So people wait, and I've seen the cost of that waiting firsthand. Clients who postponed retirement year after year because a spreadsheet told them they weren't there yet, only to have life catch up with them. A spouse gets sick, a friend passes away, or they themselves face a health scare. And suddenly the perfect retirement they waited for is gone. When you let math make the decision, you forget the most important variable, time. And time, once lost, doesn't come back. So let's take a step back. These 3 beliefs, the magic number myth, the obsession with accumulation, and the idea that math alone decides your future, all lead to the same painful outcome. Retirees feel stuck, anxious, and unsure what to do next. But there's a different path, one that's not just about growing your money, but about using it to create the life you actually want. Let me show you how that shift happens. Here's what most retirees really want, and what almost no one talks about. It's not just to have more money, it's to know they can stop working and still live the life they've imagined. But as long as you're measuring success by how much you've saved, rather than how you actually want to spend it, you'll never feel ready. That's why we use a different approach called the basis covered retirement system. This system flips the script. Instead of starting with a savings target, we actually start with your lifestyle, what it actually costs to live the way you want. Then we work backwards. How much of that is covered by guaranteed income? What gaps need to be filled with your savings? And lastly, how can we structure those withdrawals in the most tax efficient way? With this system, you stop wondering if you've hit the number and start focusing on whether you've got your bases covered. Now, how does this system actually work? Well, it starts with one simple question. What does your life really cost? Not a guess, not a percentage of your income, but a real number based on how you want to live. Once we know that number, we look at how much of it is already covered. That might be Social Security, a pension, rental income, anything that's predictable. Then we calculate the shortfall. the amount that needs to come from your savings. From there, we design a drawdown strategy that keeps you in control, avoids surprise taxes, and gives you the confidence in your income year after year. This works so much better than the old way because it focuses on what you can control: your expenses, your income sources, and your withdrawal strategy. It removes the guesswork. You're not blindly chasing a number or relying on outdated rules like the 4% rule. You're planning around your life, not a generic benchmark. And because you're planning backwards from what you need, you avoid oversaving, overstressing, and underspending. And the impact of this shift is incredible. I've seen clients go from delaying retirement out of fear to retiring 6 months later with complete confidence. They spend without guilt. They travel without second guessing. They know what's coming in, what's going out, and the life they worked so hard for is finally theirs to enjoy. This isn't just about better math, it's about better peace of mind. When your bases are covered, retirement doesn't just feel possible, it feels earned. So before we wrap up today, let's recap what we've learned. First, we broke down the real problem, that oversaving without a clear drawdown strategy is leaving retirees anxious, overtaxed, and underliving. Then we introduced the basis covered retirement system, a way to flip the script and plan your retirement around your lifestyle, not just your account balance. But we can't stop there, because while this system works, your situation is completely unique. And if you apply this strategy without tailoring it to your personal numbers, you might only solve for 30% of the issue. That's why I'm offering a completely complimentary retirement review, built specifically around your goals, your income, and your savings. All you have to do is click the link below, submit a few details, and within 48 hours, I'll send you a video walking through your exact situation. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.